Hi, I'm Kyle, and thank you for checking out the very first video in Warehouse 21's music production program. So, you want to learn how to start making music. Where do you even begin? Much like any art form, there are essential equipment that you will need to get started. We will go over the essential hardware and software to begin learning the fundamentals of music production. The best part is that this equipment can be very easy and inexpensive to access. This tutorial is primarily aimed for beginners, and we will go over the very basic equipment needed to start. But we will also cover some other options that aren't essential but can also serve you well to have. So let's jump right in. Where do we begin here? Well, the very first thing you're going to need is a computer. Which computer is the best for music production? The two main softwares used for production are Mac OS and Microsoft Windows. Either one will work perfectly fine, but one may be tailored to you specifically. It really has to do with which one you are more comfortable with. Mac is more streamlined, boasting decent to excellent specs right out of the box, but the price tag can turn people off. Windows is also a great operating system, but the quality of products can range quite heavily. While mid-range and even some entry models are all you need in terms of processing power, a good amount of Windows computers will struggle to run audio software. I will say you do not need a supercomputer. An iPad or even your phone can handle the power of basic music production with minimal to no lag or latency issues, so work within your means. So what you're going to need next along with your computer is software. In this case, the software is called a digital audio workstation. A digital audio workstation is software installed on your computer that is designed for audio and music production specifically, and there are a lot of them. So let's go over some free options as well as some higher end products to find what is right for you. Ableton Live. Ableton is the main software that I will be using in my videos, but most principles I will be teaching can be utilized in any software. Ableton Live comes in 4 versions: Lite, which is free, but has some major restrictions to it; Intro, which has limited features but offers a good price tag for those features; Standard, and Suite, which are the flagship products at the highest cost, but will serve you incredibly well as your #1 music production workspace. So if you're interested in composing with MIDI-based music such as hip-hop beats, pop, EDM, general instrumental music, as well as performing your music live, this is the right software for you. I firmly believe Ableton to be the best music production software, with their amazing clip management system, their audio warping algorithm, and incredibly powerful tools for MIDI and audio alike. That, coupled with third-party plugins and community-scripted products such as Max for Live, makes Ableton Live an absolute incredible tool. It is also, as the name suggests, an amazing tool for live performance as well, with their clip selection allowing you to loop, activate clips in time with your performance, as well as the robust MIDI synchronization, allowing you to customize your mapping to any MIDI control surface. But if you're on a budget, that's not a problem at all. There are plenty of free and inexpensive options that you can download and explore the fundamentals. Let's go over a few. Garageband. Garageband on Mac is a great place to explore the basics. All Apple products such as iPads, iPhones, and Mac computers come with it for free. If you have a Mac and you want to get hands-on with the fundamentals of using a digital audio workstation, open up this app and check it out. Logic Pro. Logic Pro is the direct upgrade to GarageBand and was the first DAW I used before switching to Ableton. This is a Mac-only software, but this DAW is one of the best in terms of bang for your buck, providing a huge array of sounds, instruments, loops, audio effects, and more for the healthy price tag of $100. It expands upon the interface of GarageBand, opening up to the professional world of audio production. Many top-billing artists and producers use exclusively Logic for their professional productions. It's the jack of all trades for MIDI-based music composition and audio recording. Fruity Loops. Another popular DAW is Fruity Loops. While I have no experience with it personally, I have seen many different artists' workspace with it, and I can safely say that it is a great piece of software for music production. While it lacks in the recording and tracking aspects of music production, it excels brilliantly with beatmaking and piano roll MIDI composition. Propellerhead's Reason. Reason can also be a great tool for music production. It is tailored more for people with experience in hardware music production, the old way of making music, as the rack system utilizing more traditional ways of routing instruments and audio effects together, also boasting a big library of ready-to-use sounds. Pro Tools. Pro Tools is the industry standard for music production on a professional level. It's not designed for making the instruments and composition of the track specifically, but it's the industry leader for mixing, mastering, and recording. That with the big price tag makes it a bit harder for me to recommend to beginners looking to produce and compose music, but is fantastic for tracking, recording, and editing audio. I used exclusively Pro Tools when I was working with film audio. If you have access to it, it's worth using. There are plenty of other DAWs that are available for you to explore, but the ones that we've covered in this video I find to be the best in the industry to start off with, as well as continue on an advanced level. Next, we are going to cover what you're going to need in terms of equipment. Now, I will say you do not need anything super expensive. You can get everything you need to get started for under $100, no problem. First, we're going to cover the essentials. These are pieces of equipment that you're going to want to get to properly learn how to make music. Headphones. You want a good over-the-ear headphones to start off with. Over-the-ear headphones are important mainly for sound isolation, audio frequency response, and stereo field imaging. That's the left and right panning of certain elements in your mix. I do not recommend that you use earbuds. The frequency response of them, mainly in the bass, is very poor, and you will find that your lower end of your mix won't be a clear representation of what your music actually sounds like. Also, most earbud manufacturers will boost and cut certain frequencies to make the sound of professionally mixed and mastered music more pleasing to your average consumer, and will further give you an inaccurate depiction of your music. What you want is a flat response of the audio frequency spectrum with your headphones when composing music. If you are interested in recording music, you're going to need what's called an audio interface. An audio interface is a piece of hardware that allows you to plug a mic or a different line in, maybe from an electric guitar or bass, and send the audio directly into your DAW. You will also need a microphone of some kind and an XLR cable to connect to it. There are two types of industry standard microphones for recording music. That's going to be a dynamic mic and a condenser mic. Dynamic mics are not nearly as sensitive to sound and require no power to work. These are great for podcasting, for instance, because the sound going into it is more direct and you won't get much of the room sound. Get a mic like this if you want to record rap vocals, percussion instruments, voiceovers, and more. Second is a condenser mic. This is a microphone that is much more sensitive. This is good for recording acoustic guitar, sung vocals, and generally more quiet or full range audio. These do require power to work. Most audio interface manufacturers will include a button for what's called phantom power, which powers the microphone through the audio interface. Please keep in mind that since this mic is so sensitive, that being in a room with minimal background noise is important, so stick it in your closet. We will go over recording techniques in a future video, but keep in mind what kind of music you want to make when you're picking up a microphone. These can range wildly in price, but you can get an essential recording bundle for fairly inexpensive price points. I will link in the description a few options from under $100, under $200, and if you want to go all out, under $500 as well. Now we're going to go over optional equipment. This is equipment you don't necessarily need to get started, but will certainly help you with your workflow. MIDI Controller. This is a piece of hardware that maps pads, knobs, and piano keys to instruments in the DAW. This allows you to control the software with a piece of hardware that will allow you to play your ideas, making your workflow more fluid and musically familiar. If you have any experience with piano or drums, this I highly recommend getting. Studio monitors. Now, these speakers are different than consumer-grade speakers because they provide a flat frequency response, giving you a more accurate depiction of your mix. They are placed at ear level behind your computer and is used mainly for mixing and mastering. Sound is known as compression and decompression of airwaves. Therefore, having air between your ears and the speaker is important for getting a clear picture of the sound. I will list another few good examples for a decent price range in the description below. Now, this isn't essential for getting started, but will serve you well in making sure that your music is as clean as possible when you move to the mixing and mastering phase of your production. But one thing I will emphasize is you do not need expensive equipment. Start low. Work with a budget even if you have the means to get higher end equipment. Learn the basics with basic equipment before moving on to advanced hardware, because expensive equipment alone will not make your music sound better. Knowledge of the essentials is mandatory to be able to utilize higher end equipment to its fullest. You may find that this will be all you need to make music. If you have any questions, I highly encourage you to leave a comment below. I will be answering every single question to the best of my abilities. Feel free to drop by the Facebook group where we are going to stream workshops that you can attend, ask questions, get involved, have your music reviewed and critiqued, as well as suggest topics for us to cover. If you enjoyed today's video, we would appreciate if you can leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep up to date with the latest videos. Thanks again to Warehouse 21 for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out the link in the description to their website where we are going to post the streaming schedule, and happy music making.